I'm discussing. Uh, Hello, good morning. Today, in this particular session, I'm going to discuss the so-called the second Maxwell's field equation. That is nothing but divergence of B equal to 0. Divergence of B equal to 0. So, when you are discussing this at the end of the session, you are going to understand what is the source of the magnetic field and why isolated magnetic poles are not existing in the natures, so that we can understand after the discussion of this particular sessions. Okay, so before that, in the Maxwell's first field equations, that is del dot E is equal to rho by epsilon naught, or del dot E is equal to del dot D is equal to rho, we understood the source of the electric field are the charges. So in the same context, we try to understand what is going to be the source of magnetic field. So that we are understanding from this particular analyzations. So this can be done mathematically in these fashions. You studied the so-called Biot-Savart law. You just see here, this is a conductor carrying the current. We know this. Suppose any conductor, any shape and size, if it carries the current, in the surrounding region, there is a magnetic field. We wanted to find out the strength of that magnetic field at any point due to this current carrying conductor. So that we are expressing mathematically by means of Biot-Savart law. So first you cut this conductor into large number of small element. See, this is dl is one such element. dl is the one element of this conductor. Choose the midpoint of that element. Join with the point where you wanted to find out the field strength. Okay. So this is going to be the position vector. Okay. And then it says at this particular point, due to this conductor carrying the current, or due to this element of the conductor dl, if you multiply by I into dl become the current element. So due to this current element, the magnetic field strength at this point is how much? That's what the Biot-Savart law says. So it says the magnetic field at any point due to an element of conductor, first directly proportional to the current, and second directly proportional to the length of this element, and the third inversely proportional to square of the distance. So this is what we are understanding from the so-called Biot-Savart law. It says this, what is going to be the strength of magnetic field at any point surrounding a conductor carrying the current. So mathematically that is written like this: dB equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl r by r cube. So make it very clear, magnetic field at any point dB proportional to first the strength of the current, then length of the element, this is a vector notation, and where is inversely with the square of the distance, but we have taken the vector r here. So look at this, vector r is nothing but r into r cap. Therefore when we are taking the r here, we should write r cube, even though magnetic field strength varies inversely with the square of the distance, even though it is there, in terms of mathematical vector analysis it will be written like this. So this is the constant of proportionality mu naught by 4, where mu naught stands the permeability of the medium. Here it is mu naught, therefore it is the permeability of air or vacuum, and in general the ability of the medium to conduct the magnetic force, that's called the permeability. And look at, this is the mathematical expression in vector form of the magnetic field strength at any point due to an element, or according to Biot-Savart law. So where r is nothing but this xi plus yj plus zk, or in terms of magnitude, and the unit vector is this. Now we will do this. Instead of dB, we will write B, because dB is the magnetic field at that point due to one element. Okay. So when we are calculating the total, we have to take all into consideration. Just to avoid the confusion, let us call dB as B. So then this equation reduces like this: B equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R by R cube. Now the small vector analysis we are going to do is, what was our intention? What is going to be the source of magnetic field? Because we are very sure the static charges at rest produces the electric field. So in the same way, can I say the magnet is the origin of magnetic field or something else? Or the reverse question, which is going to be the source of magnetic field? Because we are very clear a current carrying conductor produces the magnetic field. That is why we are going to try to understand what is going to be the source of magnetic field. For that purpose, I did this one. I'm going to take the divergence on both sides. Okay, so this is there. I'm taking the divergence. So when you are taking the divergence, look at this: A cross B, this. Okay, this divergence of B. I took the divergence for this. Divergence of B equal to divergence of this scheme. Okay, so this is going to be the equation after taking the divergence. See, mu naught 4 pi I R cube. So these are the quantity that remains constant. So you can take it outside. Then what you are getting? Divergence dot dl cross R. So after taking the divergence, look at to this equation. If you are taking the divergence on both sides, you are going to get this divergence, this. And then I mu naught 4 pi R cube R constant, that is taken out of the divergence signal. So you are going to get this. See, this is an equation. See, in the case of a vector analysis, the divergence of cross product of the two vectors, this is divergence of cross product of the two vector, is going to be divergence of A cross B is nothing but vector B dot divergence A curl of A minus the vector A dot the divergence of curl of the B, or curl of B and the curl of A. You can say like this. So now here I am considering vector A as dl and the vector B as R. So my equation reduces like this. I am substituting A as dl and B as R. So this is an equation. Now reduces to divergence dl cross R, that is equal to vector R divergence curl of dl. Okay, similarly minus d vector dl dot the divergence del cross R. So this is the way in which that formula, the previous formula, look at this, this will be changing. Now look at, I'm taking this first part, del cross dl. So this value is going to be 0. Del cross dl is 0. Del is what? Dou by dou x plus dou I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z. It's an operator. So del cross dl value becomes 0. Why? Because this dl, what is dl? The length of an element of the conductor. So this length of an element of conductor is the not function of a position coordinate. So length of an element of conductor is not the position function of position coordinate. Therefore, del cross dl becomes 0. It's a very simple. Take the x component, read it as dlx. So what happens? I dou dlx by dou x. So since dl is not a function, it's a constant, differentiation of the constant becomes 0. So like that, because this length of an element is not the function of the position coordinator, therefore del cross dl equal to 0. This is 0. Therefore, the position vector divergence of this whole term becomes 0. Now, the other term, del cross r. You know, del cross r, this is the determinant I j k dou by dou x dou by dou y dou by z, and in the r xi yj zk, so x y z. So now you differentiate this, I into dou z by dou y becomes 0 minus dou y by dou z becomes 0. So this term is 0. second J, dou x by dou z 0 minus dou z by dou x becomes 0. So therefore the second term J multiplied by second term is 0. Now the third term K, first dou y by dou x, that is going to be 0, minus dou x by dou y, that is also going to be 0. Or in general, the so-called curl of position vector is always going to be 0, or del cross r equal to 0. So what happens? In this equation, this term becomes 0 because the dl is not the function of the position coordinator, and in this particular del cross r is going to be 0. So what we are getting, the final conclusion, our equation, the first equations, that's what we written it here, del dot b. So this equation reduces to this del dot b equal to 0. That means the divergence of magnetic field is going to be 0. So what is this indicates? Divergence means rate of flux. So the rate of flux is going to be 0. That means how much amount of the magnetic force enters a given region, the same amount is going to be leaving, or the magnetic lines of force entering through the given section is same as the magnetic lines of force leaving, or in general we can say the magnetic lines of forces are endless. This is the important conclusion we are getting. So try to understand this. You know the lines of force, the lines of magnetic force, lines of force due to the magnetic field. That's called the magnetic lines of force. It is always endless. That means if it starts from the North Pole, ends at the South Pole only. There is no question of the breaking of the discontinuity of the lines of force. That is what the speciality. How many lines of force enters, the same amount is going to be leave, or the flux of magnetic lines of force entering should be equal to the flux of the magnetic lines of force leaving. That means how many peoples are entering the room, the same number of peoples are leaving the room. That indicate inside the room the people numbers are going to be constants. So that's what the idea. But very interesting is, in the case of an electric field, the electric field become discontinuous inside the conductor, where that means the electric lines of force, there is a chance of breaking discontinuity, whereas the magnetic lines of force, never such a thing is going to takes place. That means if it starts at one point, the ends at another point, it is always going to be continuous in nature, or it is the endless. So what was the importance of this? The importance is this: in nature, if you are going to get a magnetic field, then if you compare that magnetic field produced due to a magnet, you can't speak just a north pole or just a south pole. Suppose from the north pole the magnetic lines of force starts, it should end at the south pole. So you cannot speak of the isolated magnetic poles. Okay, you cannot, like, or the way in which you said about the electric field, because the charges are origin of the electric field. If there is a positive charge, the one, the negative charge, the other type. So that type of isolated magnetic poles are not existing. That's why these magnetic field lines are endless, or this is what the very important significance. The isolated magnetic pole does not exist, or equal number of magnetic lines of force enters and leave the given volume, or there is no source or sink for magnetic lines of force. It originates from positive charge, the terminates on the negative charge. It will be like that only. Okay. So in general, from the second Maxwell equation, when you comparing to the first one, you are trying to understand what is going to be the origin of the magnetic field. I can say with a confidence, the so-called charges in motion constitutes the magnetic field, because the charges in motion produces the current. If any region there is a current, then surrounding region there is a magnetic field. So that mathematically expressed like this, the Gauss theorem. Okay. And another important conclusion, there is a difference between the electric lines of force, the magnetic lines of force. Electric lines of force may be a discontinuous, whereas the magnetic lines of forces are never. The consequence of this is, you are going to get isolated positive or negative charges, whereas magnetic lines of force never discontinuous. Therefore, you can't get in nature the isolated magnetic pole like just a north pole or just a south pole. That option is not going to be there. Okay. So with this view, I'm going to stop at this particular point.